welcome back. Earlier in the show, we heard from Common Ground volunteer Ruth Ready on how producers use corn stalks as a forage base.
That interview will be posted to our Pure Nebraska Facebook page a little bit later. Right now, we are getting a recipe. Here's Ruth with how to make Cranberry Quick Bread.
This is a time of year when people enjoy doing a little baking, especially during the Christmas season. Joining me now with more is Ruth Ready with Common Ground. And Ruth, you have a recipe that is maybe somewhat easy to put together, I hope.
Yeah, it should be. And it's really festive. And it is also the season for cranberries. And so that's why we're going to make a cranberry quick bread today. And in my large bowl here, I have already creamed together 2/3 of a cup of shortening, and I used butter because I prefer real butter in most anything. And then 1 cup of sugar. And I've added 2 large eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to mix that so it's all looking like the same stuff. The recipe says that we should alternate our flour and our milk as we pour it together. Honestly, I don't. I'm going to pour in 3/4 of a cup of milk. And I have mixed together my dry ingredients because then they disperse better in the recipe. So what I've got in here is 1.5 cups of flour and a teaspoon of baking powder. Make sure you got baking powder. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then the recipe also calls for 12 ounces of cranberries. Now, I like cranberries. I always have because I like tart, sour things. If you aren't into that many cranberries, feel free to cut this and use less. So this time I'm actually going to just use about half of my cranberries, so 6 ounces instead of the 12 that the recipe calls for. And I already have my pan prepared here. It's the regular 8x4 loaf pan, and it talks about buttering and flouring, and that helps your bread come out better. So you put that in there, and you're going to bake it in the oven at 350 for about an hour. And hopefully you'll get something that looks like this. I whipped up just a little bit of honey butter, which is just about 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of honey, and it's delicious on here and very festive.
That sounds really good. Okay, thank you, Ruth, for being here today.
You bet. Thanks, John.
Wow, that looks amazing when it's warmed up and with that butter on top. And we do have that recipe posted on our Pure Nebraska Facebook page if you'd like to copy that.